Good morning, gentlemen. Today's theme is college culture and also to celebrate Heritage Day. Zed Osman of the Muslim Society will now lead us in our devotions.
College culture, in essence, is the school's traditions, privileges, and the core values which encourage an individual to do good and succeed not only at a school level but rather in life. In the Quran, the 3 verses of Surah Asr, chapter 30, read as follows: Wal Ars, innal insana lafi khusr, illa allazina amanu wa amilu s-salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. By the oath of time, verily, man is at a loss, except those who believe, who do good deeds, who encourage each other towards the truth, and encourage each other to exercise patience. While these verses encompass man's success and failure in a nutshell, it can be linked back to college. Our school provides us with a solid foundation for leading a successful life and encourages us to act sensibly as young men. However, it is ultimately up to us to practice these values in order to reap the full reward, similarly to how Allah makes it clear that every person needs to think whether he is leading a life in a manner that will cause him a loss or whether his ways of life will lead him to salvation. We need to see how our actions, even in the confines of a high school environment, are affecting us and the people around us. The surah also takes the oath of time, and in doing so presents time as a witness for the way in which we conduct ourselves. While in the Quran it presents the eternal dilemma of success in the temporary world versus success in the afterlife. Currently as students, time gives us a point for reflection in the year. For matrics, it may be reviewing our time as sixth formers, and for many of us, our greater college career, as we move forward to the next chapter in our lives. For the rest, it may simply be the events of this passing year. Whatever it is, we should all strive to behave in a manner that would lead to the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Lose no opportunity to add value to one's life. Make a start with college culture, and this will enable you to soar to new heights. Let us pray. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. Amen.
Thank you very much, Osman. Captain Ellenbogen will now say the school prayer.
Pater noster, quaes in cardis, sanctificator nomen tum, aveniat regnum tum, fiat filentus tua, sicet in calet in terra, bona nostrum quotidianum de nobis hodie, et divita nobis divita nostra, sicet in nos debitibus debitoribus nostris, and in nos inducas in tentationem, celebra nos amalo, timus regnum, potentiae gloria, sacula, saculorum. Amen.
College Culture Update. It's my pleasure to ask Mr. Marwick to address you as a follow-up to the release of the College Credo on the College Culture document and to remove any further confusion as to how this document was compiled, the purpose, and how it should influence our daily lives at college going forward.
Good morning, young men of college. The headmaster has asked me to this morning give you further direction on the concept of our college culture. I know full well, of course, that you all about 3 weeks ago took the College Credo, a personal oath that you all hopefully attested to and took seriously in your mentor classes. An oath, gentlemen, in which you give your word is definitely not to be taken lightly. That College Credo summarized some of the most important aspects of the culture of our beloved school, like to live out its core values and to not lie, steal, or cheat. But that, after all, was the very public part of this whole drive. It is important that you remember that you were meant to have given a pledge, a sacred promise, and your solemn word to live out that credo. And those words were not just words, or not just some marketing gimmick, as some boys said to me rather scornfully this week. They were a real effort by us, as your teachers, to guide you and hopefully inspire you along a certain path, not just while you are at college, but throughout your life. And for me personally, these are definitely not the words of a marketing gimmick. From my own experience, I can testify that, having worked at college for the last 16 years, my own character has very much been shaped, for the better, by the honourable values that I've each day come across at the school. I remember about 15 years ago, as a newly arrived teacher from Joburg who kind of fancied himself a bit, I must have said something in the staff room or reacted in a certain way that came across as spoilt and selfish. This prompted a very straight-talking member of the college staff to ask me, "Are you an only child, by the way?" Now, I won't say who that plain-speaking teacher was, but it was Mrs. Webley's kind but firm way of saying to me, "Hey man, pull yourself together. That's not how we roll at this school." Her comments made a lasting impression on me. So let's talk a little bit more today about this college culture, this code of practices and habits that have been written down and is available for you to read on the school's website, and I encourage you to do so. This document tries to codify what it means to be a college boy and to outline key aspects of the unique Maritzburg College experience. For example, we all know that college fosters a strong sense of identity and camaraderie, and that it has for generations produced men who can proudly claim to be stamped as college men. But what does that mean? Importantly, we the authors also want to provide clarity about the school's culture to you boys and to your parents before you each embark on the deeply meaningful journey of being a college boy. Without a doubt, college is a unique school with its own flavor and character, and indeed its own personality, including its many long-established rites of passage and privileges. Collectively, they all place a certain stamp on the boys who attend the school, and they are all part of the DNA of our school's culture, as formally codified in this college culture document. It is also important for every young man entering college to also be aware that there are many other virtues beyond our core values and core traditions that are required of future college men. And these also form the bedrock of our college culture document. The seniors amongst you should recall that we last year ran a school-wide survey that included not just you boys via your mentor classes, but the staff and the old collegians. In that survey, we asked the central question: what is a college man in the 21st century? We received hundreds of meaningful responses, and over time these responses from various parts of our community were condensed into a number of key questions. Here are some of the questions that specifically you boys raised via your mentor classes. Am I willing to embrace the sense of brotherhood and camaraderie that college offers? Am I willing to serve my school and my fellow man and put the interests of others before my own? Am I going to be a passenger in life, comfortably sailing along, or am I going to cut my own path and make a determined contribution to those around me? These were all powerfully worded questions that you yourselves came up with. And they are not just words. They get to the very foundation of our school and what it means to be a college boy. I'm ending off now. As I hope you now can all appreciate, it was the very clear intention of the authors of this document called College Culture that it should amount to something that is positive and inspiring and indeed heroic, offering a blueprint for college boys of the present and the future. But it needs to be a living document, not just of typed up words, and through the headmaster we will explore avenues in which any college boy who fails to live up to its noble ideals is held accountable. After all, it's no use having these fancy credos and pledges and core values, core traditions and handbooks if you boys fail to truly embrace their meaning. And you can't just cherry pick the ones that you like either. I like the brotherhood and the camaraderie, but not so much the bits about honesty and hard work. You have to subscribe to them all. Perhaps you did a couple of weeks ago dismiss the college credo as a marketing gimmick. I ask you now to reevaluate your views, to, if you have the time, read this document on the website and to mull over what is written there. Our simple intention is for every college boy to do his very best to live out all the noble and honorable values that underpin our school. And you know what? If that's too much for you, well, maybe college isn't for you. In a world that offers too many public examples of poor, even criminal behavior, help us ensure that our fine old school for the next 157 years is able to proudly stand as an example to all of virtue, integrity, and citizenship. Gentlemen, it's in your hands. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marwick. Election of leadership roles at college. There has been some justifiable stress in certain quarters over the procedure and processes in the appointment of the prefects and house leaders for College 2021. I wish to now clarify and allay any further confusion. Since 2013, College has followed a very thorough, transparent and objective system in the appointment of school prefects and house leaders. There are a total of 11 members of the Leadership Appointments Panel, which include the following staff: Mr. Talka, Chair; Mrs. Finney, Deputy Chair; Mrs. Govender and Mr. Mshlongo, Social Awareness Council and Diversity; Mrs. Swart, former HOD Prefects and Leadership; Marwick, Kyle, Boarding; Sutherland, Prefects; Sparrow, HOD Leadership; and the relevant housemasters of each day and BE house. The most important point to be made, and I repeat this to all applicants and boys who attend the leadership camp, is that no boy would become a house leader or prefect if he does not have the support of his peers, that is, the boys' vote. It is as simple as that. There are many good and talented boys who miss out on becoming a house leader or a prefect, but that does not mean it is the end of the road for him. There are numerous other leadership roles to fulfill. For example, the RCL, BE Prefect, Elliott House Council, House Captains or Vice Captains, peer support roles, mentors, captains of sport and culture, monitors, etc. As far as the Department of Education is concerned, they do not recognize school prefects or house leaders, but only the RCL body, which includes boys from 2nd to 6th form duly elected by you. The RCL over the past 2 months, under the guidance of Mr. Sparrow and through the support of Mr. Govender and Randall and the delegates, has gained significant momentum, due recognition and prominence, and is dealing with a number of pertinent matters. Issues raised through the Social Awareness Forum and others are being thoroughly and maturely debated and discussed. Feedback is due back to the housemasters, mentors and boys in the various mentor groups, and this needs to happen on a regular basis. Furthermore, your prefects meet daily with Mrs. Sutherland and Sparrow, and the senior prefects with myself on a Monday. Just last week, a number of EXCO members, including myself, plus Mr. Sutherland, sat with 5 prefects and a house leader, where a number of important and pressing matters were raised, and feedback will be provided shortly. What is important at this point is, how do I go about raising a concern that I may have? First of all, go and see your mentor, your housemaster, Social Awareness Forum, EXCO member, or write an email to any of the above or me. On that point, we have had a number of passionate emails written by parents, old collegians, current boys around issues, which is the correct procedure and forum to follow. What is not the correct manner in which to raise concerns? Through social media or protests. You can get yourself into serious trouble by posting comments on social media or being involved with protest action in the school environment. It is against the South African Schools Act of 1996 and the Schools Code of Conduct. Once you are in the workplace and you publicly criticize on social media platforms, your employers could dismiss you that day. In closing, if you have concerns, speak to someone about it. You should not and do not have to remain silent for fear of reprisals. I wish to reassure you of that. Cultural Awards. It gives me great pleasure to announce Cultural Awards for 2020. Congratulations to the following boys on their well-earned achievements. Lapel Badge for Ensemble, T.L. Sampson of Nicholson. Colours for Choir, M.S. Fury of Vorder, S.N. Kumalo of Nicholson, C.M. Kesby Green of Fuller, T.L. Sampson of Nicholson. Colours and Scarf for Choir, T.J. Emma Mkees from Vorder, C.N. Van Selm of Commons. Colours and Scarf for Ensemble, C.M. Kesby Green of Fuller, and A.J. Wesley of Fuller. Honours for Choir, A.J. Wesley of Fuller, and for Ensemble, M.S. Fury of Vorder and M.A. Thomas of Strachan. Please join me in congratulating these boys. Well done. The NS Matric Art Display. Whilst we are focusing on culture, here is a short video to celebrate the recent NSC Artworks display and the superb standard of our boys. Well done to both the staff and the sixth formers. What is Heritage Day? Heritage Day is a national holiday where all South Africans celebrate their cultural heritage and embrace their diverse traditions and values that contribute to our rainbow nation. South Africans celebrate Heritage Day by remembering the cultural heritage of the many cultures that make up the population of South Africa, and various events are staged throughout the country to commemorate this day. It is a day to celebrate the contribution of all South Africans to the building of South Africa. We are truly blessed to be living in such a diverse country with so many different cultures. Let us always remember to celebrate and appreciate the diversity that does exist. In the words of Madiba, our rich and varied cultural heritage has a profound power to help build our nation. From the religious perspective, on the topic of heritage, the most important thing that parents can give their children and grandchildren is a godly heritage. They give a godly heritage by taking spiritual concern not only for their children, but also for their grandchildren. They give a godly heritage by picturing to their children and grandchildren their hopes for the future in the Lord. The most important heritage that can be handed down to children and grandchildren is faith in the promises of God. I wish our sixth formers continued success in their trial exams, and remind second to fifth form that you are not required at school on Friday. You will continue with distance online learning and work set by your teachers. I wish you all a very good week. Keep safe and healthy. Pro Auris et Focus. Please stand as we end this assembly by celebrating our diverse cultural heritage and joining together with 1,000 choir to sing the national anthem with pride and passion.